Hey guys, free pick time. All right, back with another free play. So we picked up a win yesterday on our WNBA play. Today, I got a baseball play for you. Another busy day, but today, for the first time this year, we have a play over 2 units. Yes, finally. All right. We got a 2-unit play, but then above and beyond that, we got a bet on the first 5 innings as well. So first time we've had a combination of bets that have been over 2 units on one game, and I absolutely love this game. Perfect conditions here today, guys. So if you're interested, above and beyond that, we have a lot of other baseball going on today. BenderWins.com. It's $99 a month, gets you my full card every single day, plus all the masterclass educational videos and the Bender Wins Guide to Professional Sports Betting. There are so many reasons why I believe personally, and you guys know that I've done well with it, that I think people need to be involved in sports betting these days. Okay, so first and foremost, before I jump into today's play, I want to talk to you guys about something, okay? Grab a Monopoly board, okay? Take it out with your family, and instead of just playing a straight up game of Monopoly, I want you to do something just a little bit different, okay? Before the game starts, hand out all the properties to everyone, except only give yourself 2 properties, okay? Just divide everything else amongst everyone and give yourself 2 properties and see if you ever win a game. And I can tell you that you won't ever win a game because it's an impossibility. Once those properties are all handed out, no one's going to trade with you. They know you're beat, okay? You can't possibly land and miss enough squares that you can ever win that game. So what the hell am I talking about here? What I'm talking about, guys, is that is, unfortunately, the American dream now, okay? The properties, the Monopoly cards have already gone out. We're late in the game. Blame it on our parents for making us and having us born in this late time in the capitalist society. But that is the reality, guys. We are late cycle, all right? We cannot do the traditional. Go out there, open yourself a grocery store, the true American dream, okay? Open a grocery store and build it and, hire employees and open a second location and then grow it and grow it and grow it. Good luck. You are going to get absolutely killed. Why are people going to come to your store? You don't have the buying power. These guys that own 17,000 grocery chains across North America. How are you going to compete? You're not, okay? Government legislation. Over the years, these guys are in the politicians' pockets because who pays for the politicians to get elected? Who covers the campaign costs? Who do you think, okay? All these guys are contributing, and then guess what? They get the right to tell the politician, this is what I want and this is what I want. And the problem with that is the legislation is all put in place to prevent you from going anywhere in life and fulfilling the American dream. So unfortunately, the American dream has now become the American illusion. And it is up to you to find other ways to make wealth. What's been the greatest way to make wealth over the last 500 years? Real estate, right? Everyone's made money in real estate, okay? You buy a property, fix it up, rent it, sell it. Fantastic, right? There's 1,000,001 books on it, except for here's the problem, okay? We all know the story. Oh, my parents bought a house for $10,000 40 years ago, and it's $1 million today, and look how much money they made. Here's the problem, okay? Do you think in the next 40 years that $1 million house is going to be worth $100 million? It isn't. I can tell you it isn't, because we're nearing the end of the game, all right? And I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but this is the wheels that were set in motion going back all the way to the early 1900s when Rockefeller went before Congress and said, despite the fact that he was paying over 80% personal tax, that he didn't want to change the tax codes. You know why Rockefeller didn't want to change the tax codes? Because he knew as long as he was paying 80% income tax or more, and the bottom half back then paid 0 income tax. Bottom 50% of America, 0 income tax. Look it up. Okay? As long as that was happening, he would continue to get wealthy, but everyone would continue to thrive. And the more money people had in their pockets meant the more things they were going to buy, and the more things they were going to buy, meaning the richer that Rockefeller was going to get. And he understood that you could sustain this. Okay? Now you fast forward through to the Reagan administration, which really was the pushing of the button, which ended any possibility of continuing the capitalist system in the way that it should work as a well-oiled machine. Because During Reagan economics and during the 1980s, the culture was that of greed, okay? If you watch some movies from the 1980s, like Wall Street and things like that, greed was good. That was the motto, okay? And great things happened in America. It exploded economically. Manufacturing took off. There was a great time, a great prosperous time. But if you crawl through all the good stuff and look what really happened, what you're seeing is a major shift in the tax laws, which gave tax breaks for the rich and penalized the poor and middle classes. I shouldn't just say poor, in the middle class, anyone who wasn't stinking rich, okay? And it worked for a while, except for the fact that it just continued to erode and erode and erode and erode. And now we have come to a point in time where I say, unfortunately, the American dream is the American illusion. Now, could you go out and open the grocery store I'm talking about and, thrive? Sure you could. Is it a lot harder to do today than it was 30 years ago or 50 years ago or even 100 years ago, right? Absolutely. Okay. Now we're talking about very few success stories versus back in the day when there was a ton. My dad came to the country with 10 cents in his pocket and, turned it into a multi-million-dollar business, right? You don't see it as much today because there's so many roadblocks. Some of them have just been put up because of massive inflation. Others have been put up by people who are wealthy who don't want anyone else to climb into their social circles, okay? This is the reality of life today. And what we have to make from that is we have to carve new paths, okay? Now you see all over social media, people finding ways like the Mr. Beast and stuff like that, right? People finding ways to create themselves wealth, okay? If you look at the traditional things, if you sit down in an economics class, they're going to blow the same sunshine up your ass that they did for the last 30 years because they haven't changed their curriculum, okay? It's not the same world. And if you do not find additional ways to produce income and to make money in today's world, good luck, because the old way doesn't work. And this, guys, you can relate to just about anything in life, but I bring it back to sports betting, where I always talk about the fact that sports betting doesn't know if the economy is good. It doesn't know if the economy is bad, okay? It doesn't know if you're in a good mood or bad. It doesn't care. Sports betting doesn't care, okay? This is about the simplistic thing of finding value and practicing bankroll management. And it's why I continuously preach to people that if you do sports betting the right way, you can make a boatload of money, and there is no amount of legislation that is going to slow you down. There's no amount of politics are going to get into it. It doesn't matter about, what the rich say or do or anything like that. It is simply a war between you and the books. And if you do things the right way, despite the fact that there's juice on all the games, you actually have the edge long term, because the books have to post a line for every single game, and we get to pick and choose the ones that we know have value. You find the value, you practice bankroll management, and you will make money. And you can make a lot of money. I've done videos on compound interest and exactly how much money people can make over the long term. So at the end of the day, guys, it's so important in life right now that we take these little opportunities to create wealth for ourselves. And sports betting, in my opinion, because I've done it, is the best possible way to do it. All right. So for today, guys, got a bit of a favorite here, but I want to walk you through the math quickly. San Diego, first 5 innings, minus 145. All right. I believe they win the first 5 innings 54% of the time, only losing 33% of the time. So that gives us a result where it's not a push, okay, because 13% of the time we're going to get a push here. That gives us a result 87% of the time. So we're going to divide 54% into 87%. And now we're looking at a situation where the true line should be minus 164, not minus 145. All right, guys, that's our play today. I hope you learned something today, and I hope you at least take a few seconds to think about what I told you. Don't believe me? Go play a game of Monopoly with your family and only keep 2 properties. See what happens. All right? Best of luck, guys. BenderWins.com for the full card. We'll see you soon.